Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest because I'm very excited because I have to travel all around the world to do radio coverage for festivals, and rarely do I get the chance to do something cool at home. And so this band is going to be playing, funny enough as it may seem, at this cool pub that I'm very well familiar with that shares my last name called Piper's Pub in Pompano Beach, Florida, and it is going to be cool. So let's welcome to the show Dan from Wicked. How are you?
What's going on? Awesome to be here. Excited to talk about everything we got going on.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool shit going on, and it was funny when I was sent the email about doing interviews. The minute I saw it was at Piper's Pub, I'm like, "Oh, damn! I'll have to be at that show." And then, like, Raven is also another one of my favorite bands from way back that I've been listening to them since the early '80s, and so that's going to be a killer show that you're going to have right here locally near our studio. Actually, I'm in Costa Rica right now, but that's where our studio is and where I live in Florida. But I'm talking to you from Costa.
Beautiful. Well, lucky you. I'm in rainy New York, so
yeah. See that? I don't miss that at all. Like, I'm originally from New York and New Jersey, and I don't miss this time of year at all. I used to when I was younger. I used to think, oh, I need to. I remember when I first moved to Florida, I'm like, oh, I hate this. I want the 4 seasons. I want snow and that. And now I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
That's what I say all the time, man. We're ready to get on the road and get some nice weather and see our fans out there and just rock and roll. We're done with the New York weather.
I don't blame you. And well, you'll have some good weather in May in Florida. That's like a good time to be in Florida. You're not in the hurricane season yet, and you're not in the super hot and sweltering heat. But that Piper's Pub, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a pretty cool place. Like, a lot of people love that place. So it should be a packed house.
And you're not just saying it because you're the spokesperson as Piper.
I wish I was the owner of it. Are you kidding me? Like, that's a pretty good venue. And a lot of venues in South Florida, I'm not a fan of, which is why I leave.
Yeah, there you go. No, we're, like you said, the Raven guys are, they're super cool. Those guys are lunatics and just an incredible metal rock band. Fans of theirs for years, and we're super excited to get the opportunity to go out on the road with them for this North American tour, including Piper's Pub. It's the perfect match of, our high energy rock and roll and their antics. So front to back, the stage show is going to be pretty crazy.
Nice. I love hearing that. And see, I love going to club shows because it's a whole different experience. Like, your show is going to be my warm up for doing Welcome to Rockville, because that's the next festival on my tour. And I remember, so I moved from Jersey to LA in 1980. What a time to move to LA, right?
Yeah, right.
And I remember the first club show I went to on the Sunset Strip was Motley Crue, before they had an album, before they were glam, when they were like horror punk.
That's sick.
And the show was sick because I was like, I went to this thing and I was like, I'm never going to a real concert ever again. It's just so intimate to play and be in a club show and a club environment, and it's just so much fun.
It's so true. The intimate club shows are my favorite as well to play, as well to attend. I remember going to see Michael Monroe at the Chance, and
Nice.
that was super cool. Like just seeing that energy, and like you said, it's you get to interact with the band, and it just it's a whole different thing than being in a big crowd, which is fun too. But you know, there's that transfer of energy that is like direct in intimate club show. So
No doubt, no doubt. And I think I kind of feel like you guys as the artists get to really go all out at a club show because it's like at a big venue or festival, like you're under the guise, first of all, of the headliner more so.
yeah.
And then it's like you kind of have to do things differently. Whereas a club, you can just let it all hang out and just be as crazy as you want.
That's right. I mean, it's it's balls to the walls, and even better, like I said, being with the Raven guys, we've got this funny little like weird connection. Our drummer Gunner, his father used to roadie for them way back in the day, and I don't know if
Wow.
John Gallagher knows this, but there's a picture of him holding Gunner when he was a little baby. So we're gonna be pulling some pranks out on that one during the
Oh, I
tour.
love it. And I love that you said pranks because that's another thing about club shows, man.
It's
There's
all about
so
the
many
pranks, man.
pranks that go on. I is like some of the experiences I had just as a like fan and roadie and shit like that was just like you could not that made me who I am with music today because it was just so much fun beyond the music. Like the music's fun, the
Yeah.
show's fun, but then you as a band, like you get to have fun instead of everything being stressed out.
Yeah, it's the camaraderie, man. We're looking forward to it. Like I said, those guys are a riot, and our group is funny because it's it's not like your typical 2024 bands. We harken back to the old school method of living together, and we've been doing it for like 7 years. So yeah, granted, my brother's the singer, but the other guys were adopted into the family, the rock and roll family, and there's always something going on with the pranks, with the antics. Luckily, we get along to be able to sustain this many years and many more. But it is a circus, which is funny because we're going to be filming a lot on the road. We kind of
Nice.
started this little peek behind the veil where we're uploading these 20-minute shows to YouTube, and it's called the Rock and Roll Circus Show. So our fans could really see like what happens behind the scenes. So
I love that. And some of those pranks you guys are doing would make great TikToks.
the TikToks, that's a great place to get those pranks out. Playing along with the new age of social media, there's so many methods to get your content out there, and it's fun. We have a blast. Like every day, it's just a new experience hanging with the boys, and whether it's doing stuff like goofy stuff on TikTok or YouTube or putting out new music. It's we're lucky, that's for sure.
Nice. And so let's talk about the newest album, Sunburn, which is pretty badass. And one of the things I read about that I really love about this album, it goes along with something I've been saying for a while. If you're going to pick one positive thing out of COVID and that lockdown, I think what it did for musicians is give them a chance to go back to old school where you're getting creative. Like I feel like musicians for years were on this hamster wheel, and it's like they couldn't even finish albums because they had these deadlines, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, let's just put it out, put it out, put it out instead of really like sitting there and letting the creative juices flow and create what you wanted to be your end product.
It's so true. Like COVID, if you're a glass half full kind of mentality like we are, it was like hey, you could get a new head start if you want, right? So that's what we did. We went into the studio and we cut The Last American Rock Band, our previous album release. And luckily enough, in partnership with our good friend and producer Nacho Molino, this guy, he's crazy, man. He's from Panama, and he's got like 10 Grammys from working with like Ruben Blades and stuff. But
Nice.
Pantera fan, metalhead at heart. He moved up here. He just moved in like 3 months. We were in the studio, and then we extended his stay. We're like, why don't you just get a house up here? Like, and during that time, that's when Sunburn came alive. It was like, let's keep writing and recording. And that album was cool because, I can't wait for people to hear it this Friday. It's a reflection on, our, decade of being like a young band trying to be rock stars, right? Like, you don't always make the right choices, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade any of the ups and downs or the mishaps. They're memories, man. And they're cool to reflect on. It's experience that helps a good songwriter, in my opinion. So,
Oh, I think so too. And it's funny. I was just talking about on my live show earlier today. Think about all these rock stars from way back that, like, we all talk about, oh, the craziness and the stupid shit you do when you're in that genre and you're going to die early because of it, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at guys like Ozzy and Keith Richards, who people thought were going to die like 50 years ago. And they're still like icons.
It's wild.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
who would have imagined, I never imagined Keith Richards still like alive, and Ozzy, I mean, he's just a phenom. Like, it's unbelievable. So
it really is. I mean, hats off to those guys, man. I hope one day that we'll be in the same spot.
there you go.
We certainly push ourselves. Not only do we, do the rock and roll antics, but we really are dedicated when it comes to like our diets and our fitness and stuff like that. Being some old school like hockey players and whatnot. It gets interesting in the house.
See, and now I like it even more because hockey is my favorite sport, and I played and coached, and then I'm here in Costa Rica surfing, and like, it's funny you spoke my language because it's like I eat healthy now. I do all this healthy stuff. It's funny because I'm 57. And I tell people I'm healthier than I ever was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I was a shit show probably in my 20s.
Exactly.
Right.
We're trying to learn early as well as we go through our journey. So it's always interesting. Surfing, man, that's pretty sick. We're dying to get into that a little bit more, but we got to get ourselves out of New York.
Yeah, right. You can't really surf on the Hudson. So tell us how everybody can reach out to you guys on socials, on the web, check out the tour dates, check out the new album, and get the new album, merch, all that cool shit.
Yeah, absolutely. All of our socials are Wicked Rock and Roll. You can find us there, all the platforms, or just hit our website up, wickedrockandrollofficial.com. And yeah, we're super stoked. We're dropping the Sunburn album this Friday, March 1st. It'll be available on all your digital download and streaming services. And hell, like, look, again, like with that theme of old school hard rock, we got CDs, we got vinyl. I'm talking like gatefold vinyl. We just got a 5-foot pallet in yesterday of this stuff.
Wow.
I was like, I remember making it and all the hard work. We do everything DIY, like, but then I was like looking at the package, like in my hand physically. And I was like, this is so sick. Like, you don't see stuff like this anymore from like, rock bands as frequently as you used to. I mean, the closest thing is maybe go and get a, $50 Chili Peppers record at your local record store, but it's going to be cool. We're super excited. You can find all that apparel and physical copies and bundles on our website. Check it out. And then, of course, we've got a release show this Saturday locally here in Rochester, New York at Water Street Music Hall. We're going to blow the roof off this place, man. I'm talking playing the album front to back. And then we're hitting the tour with Raven of North America and eventually getting down to Piper's Pub. We're super excited.
Doesn't get much better than that. And I love you talking about the vinyls and the whole experience because, oh, man, I think kids are missing it out nowadays, man. I used to sit on my...
You got to get out from behind this thing.
Yes.
Get out from behind your phone screen. Live life a little bit. I'm telling you, there's a lot out there, and there's nothing I like more than sitting down with some vinyl and going through all the artwork and the notes, and
yeah,
it's inspiring for me as a musician when I write. But it's just a good time, man. Like, sitting back with a couple of drinks with your friends and there's vinyl spinning. That's how we do it.
No doubt. I remember sitting on my balcony and just like buying an album and, looking at every little detail. And that was the other thing too, because you weren't getting it like free on Spotify. You were spending your hard-earned money on this. Like you had to make every big use of it. And then sometimes there were like surprises in there. Like I remember being in grammar school and getting the Kiss Love Gun album. And at the time it was so popular, cool. Those paper popper things.
Yeah.
And so they had that inside the album. Like that was the Love Gun, man.
That is awesome.
I mean, that's so much better than just clicking on an app.
Absolutely. You miss so much when you don't have all that stuff in front of you and those extras. So
no doubt. Well, any final words you want to leave our listeners with?
Hey, just remember, get out to shows. That's like we talked about earlier, intimate club shows, big shows, festivals, whatever you got to do. Our goal here is, make music that we love first and foremost. If the fans love it, that's good on them, a bonus for us. But it's that community interaction, and that's what we thrive off of. Every show is about bringing people together, and we love even more when you see business suits standing next to punk rockers, and then maybe there's a goth there, and everybody's just coming together. One common theme, right? You're escaping your daily life for a couple hours as a community to have a good time and remember what it's like to enjoy life. So you get out there, you catch the tour, Wicked with Raven in North America. We're having a good time, and we're just coming together over it. So
I love it. Love your music. Everybody's got to check out the video for Sunburn, the title track, because it's badass. And you guys are badass. And thank you for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.